What if I told you that you could build a complex monitoring system for a factory just by describing what you want? Today, we're diving into a technology that's doing exactly that, and it's turning months of tedious coding into a matter of minutes. Let's get into it.
So take a look at this sentence. It might seem like a simple request you'd send to a design team, right? But what if this sentence all by itself was the entire development process? What if you could just type this into a system and bam, a fully functional industrial dashboard pops up ready to go? That's the huge leap forward we're talking about today.
So how on earth did we get here? The power of a simple text prompt is, honestly, revolutionary. But this kind of thing doesn't just appear out of nowhere. To really get why this is such a big deal, we have to look at the step-by-step journey every factory has to take to actually become smart.
You see, before you can use these incredible AI tools, a factory has to climb what you could call the digital transformation ladder. It's a process, a series of steps to build up its digital maturity right from the ground floor.
This journey at the ladder has 6 really key stages. It all starts with the basics: computerization and connection. Basically, getting everything digitized and online so it can talk. After that, you get visibility. You can finally see what's going on. But just seeing isn't enough, right? You need transparency to understand why it's happening. And only then can you climb to predictability, to see problems coming. And finally, get to the top with adaptability, where the factory literally starts to fix itself. Every single step builds on the last one. Now, for a very long time, building the software to get through those stages, especially the visibility and transparency parts, has been a slow, painful process. Everyone was following a very old, very rigid playbook. And that brings up a really important question. Why has it always been so hard? Well, a huge part of the problem is that the people running the factory often don't know exactly what they need to see until they're already looking at it. And on top of that, their needs are constantly changing. New orders, new priorities, new market demands. It never stops. For decades, the standard way of doing things was this waterfall model you see on the left. It's incredibly slow and rigid. You define everything up front, then you disappear and build it for months. The problem? By the time you're finished, the factory's needs have completely changed. The much better solution was Agile, on the right, a faster, more flexible approach built around short cycles and constant feedback. And the result of that old waterfall method? You guessed it, a total waste. Months of work and tons of money poured into building a tool that was basically useless the day it was launched.
But now, there's a new player in the game. AI has arrived, and it's acting like a supercharger for agile development, creating a whole new way of building intelligence for our factories.
To really get how this works, we have to talk about the bedrock of the smart factory, the SCADA system. The best way to think about it, like it says here, is as the factory's nervous system. It's the platform that is constantly gathering this massive fire hose of real-time data from every single machine and sensor. It's where all the raw info lives.
But look, having a mountain of data is one thing. That's great. The real challenge has always been, how do you turn all that raw data into something useful? You know, a chart, a dashboard, an alert that a real person can actually use to make a decision. And how do you do it fast?
Well, for the longest time, this is what it looked like. To turn that data into even a simple monitoring page, you need a specialized engineer to spend days, maybe even weeks, doing some really complex and frustrating work. And now we've gone from that to this. The entire complicated technical process has been shrunk down to a simple conversational request. The AI basically acts as a universal translator between what a human wants and a finished product.
And here is the unbelievable result. We are not talking about a small improvement here. We are talking about shrinking a process that used to take weeks down to just 3 minutes. That isn't just a step forward. It's a fundamental change in how work gets done. So when you start putting all of these different pieces together, you get this incredible glimpse into the future of manufacturing intelligence. And it's a future that's more responsive, more intuitive, and way more powerful than anything we've had before.
So let's just recap. This isn't about one magic bullet technology. It's this powerful combination. You have SCADA giving you that solid foundation of real-time data. You have the Agile philosophy providing a flexible, responsive way to work. And now you have AI acting as this incredible accelerator, instantly closing the gap between a human idea and a working tool.
So why does this matter so much? Because it completely lowers the barrier to entry for innovation. Now, literally anyone on the factory floor who has an idea for a better way to see the data can watch that idea come to life almost instantly.
This makes the whole digital transformation journey faster, cheaper, and way more likely to succeed. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful idea. For years, innovation in factories was held back by technical barriers and coding knowledge. Now, this technology puts the power to create tools directly into the hands of the people who know the factory best. So the question is no longer how you're going to build the next tool, but simply, what are you going to ask for?
Traditional industrial configuration development, still manually dragging and debugging repeatedly. Now just describe the requirements in one sentence. AI automatically generates professional-grade SCADA pages. No code required. No design foundation required. Minutes to deliver work that would otherwise take days. From equipment monitoring to production line dashboards. From energy management to failure warning. AI SCADA can flexibly match the whole scene. Accurately respond to your every need. So we're going to run through some real-life scenarios. For example, help me generate a kiln monitoring screen. Kiln temperature changes need to generate line graphs. Kiln numbers and monitoring cycles generate data. For example, I want a monitoring interface for breaking and unpacking. A visual representation of the machining process is required. Please help me design an injection molding machine monitoring page. Light style. Use a line chart for the core location. Real-time display of injection pressure and clamping force curves. Also include a health assessment of the current mold. If you have detailed SCADA requirements, you can also send it all. For example, the factory has 8 propylene polymerization reactors. When raw material purity and ambient temperature change, manual adjustment of parameters, it is difficult to balance meeting production capacity standards and minimizing energy consumption. For example, when the purity of the raw materials is high, mixing speed can be reduced, but that wastes a lot of electricity. So I need your help. Design a real-time control dashboard. More AI scenarios are waiting for you to create.